Hey everyone, Bill Sheridan with the Maryland Association of CPAs and the Business Learning Institute. You know, futurist and New York Times bestselling author Daniel Burrus says that there is a key competency that's missing in the business world today, and that's the ability to anticipate future disruptions and to position our organizations to take advantage of those disruptions before they actually disrupt us. Burrus wants to change that, so he has partnered with the MACPA and the BLI to launch what he calls the Anticipatory Organization Accounting and Finance Edition. It's a revolutionary new learning system that's centered on a series of short, single-concept videos and related job aids that teach accounting and finance professionals how to identify future disruptions and take advantage of them before they disrupt us, and then to apply those concepts to our everyday activities. It's a new way of thinking and planning and acting, and it's sorely needed in a world of accelerating change and competition and complexity and uncertainty. The folks at DeLeon Stang, that's a CPA firm based in Gaithersburg, Maryland, believe in this concept, and they believe in it so much that the firm is among the early adopters who are training their entire staffs with this anticipatory organization model. I sat down recently with Daniel Burrus and Alan DeLeon, founding partner of DeLeon Stang, to find out how the firm is putting the anticipatory organization concepts to work. Here's what they had to say.
Well, I guess it's really two reasons. One kind of starts with service to our clients. When I heard about the Anticipatory Organization, I started going through some of the materials. I realized that the pace of change is very, very unsettling for most people. It's very unsettling for our clients. They need someone to help them understand what to do in terms of running their business, how to make decisions. It could, businesses are in a number of phases. They could be starting up, or they could be in a kind of a growing phase, or they could be in a phase where the founders are getting ready to retire and they've got a succession kind of phase. So they're going to either sell or merge or transition the firm to younger folks. And these are the kind of things that CPA can help a business with, if we understand their problems and if we can try to have a system for helping them understand what these future trends are going to mean for them.
So using the system by helping them to look at the things that are what we call the hard trends, those things that will happen, separated from the soft trends, those are the things that might happen. Is it a way of giving them some guidance and helping them to see some of those, not just the current problems, but more importantly, what are the future problems as you are in those different stages that you talked about?
Right. And I'll give you a perfect example. I was thinking the other day about, how Walmart transformed themselves a number of years ago to the point where they make their suppliers stock their shelves. The suppliers track whether they need more toilet paper and actually order it, put it on the shelf, monitor it, and do all of that sort of thing. Well, one of our client niches is community associations, and they are run by property managers. So these are people that they monitor the pools, they cut the grass, they trim the trees, they work with us on the audit. So they do a number of these things, and it occurred to me, well, what would make their business better? Could they make the pool company monitor the pool and check on what's going on in the pool instead of the property manager doing it? Could they make the landscaping guy do his job more robustly? Right. So what that would do is, it's kind of like Walmart. What it would do is they would spend less time. They could manage more properties with the same manager, and essentially get more done, with less.
So to come up with some thoughts like that, because of the way the Anticipatory Organization learning system works, you can actually have a methodology to come up with insights like that, and rather than hope you come up with a good idea. Mm-hmm. No, there's actually something I can use. For example, let's go back to Walmart. The idea of having the person that makes the product shelve it and do all this stuff instead of us, Walmart, doing it, that's actually applying one of the anticipatory organization principles, and that is take your biggest problem and skip it. That's what Walmart
And it
did.
was exactly
they said, hey, why
that
should we be
module.
doing that? Let's skip it and make them do it.
Right. When I was doing that module, that's exactly what I was thinking about.
Yeah. So therefore, what are the skip-its that I can apply? And that's again one of the principles in the.
Another one of the biggest problems we have in a CPA firm, whether we're doing tax work or we're doing accounting work or we're doing audit work, the single biggest problem we have is we never can get the information we need to do our work at the time we're ready to do it. It's always a struggle to get the client to give us the tax material, the audit material, the payroll, the bookkeeping, all of that, kind of stuff. Well, one of the hard trends is, these days is things are going paperless.
Absolutely.
Electronic storage of documents. Well, clients, suppose we thought about the audit more as a sort of an ongoing process instead of a process where we do it 3 months after the year is over. If the documents are paperless and we got the client to give us those on a real-time basis, we could audit on a real-time basis, and the audit report would get done quicker. They would be happier with the information, and it would also be easier for them because they wouldn't have this big burden at the end of the year saying, oh, well, we've got to get the auditor all this information, and it's a big burden.
Yeah, and when you're doing real-time auditing, as you evolve to that, you get real-time insights because you come up with numbers, and what you want is to get insight and foresight from those numbers.
Yeah.
Because that's where new value propositions come. And again, the learning system can provide a methodology to come up with answers on that.
It's much harder to gain that foresight when you're looking at information that's 3-6 months old. Because at that point, we're just trying to get our job done and finish it and move on to the next one.
Sure. That's one of the metaphors I've used is there's a reason your windshield is larger than your rearview mirror. And just like your firms are seeing you with a rearview mirror view, and you want to change that to more of a windshield view, the same is true of them and what they're trying to do for their customers. And again, if you can give them insights to help them because you figured out how to do it yourself, that's another thing you can bring to them.
Right, and I think that's one of the cool things about this program is that if we can help our clients solve these kinds of problems, we help ourselves as well.
Yeah, and being anticipatory, of course, is anticipating disruptions before they disrupt, anticipating problems before you have them so you can pre-solve them, anticipating customer needs before they ask for them, or anticipating game-changing new opportunities that before the competition starts seeing them. So to jump ahead of the competition usually has high risk, but because of this methodology that you learn, in becoming anticipatory, you learn how to jump ahead with low risk and high reward. And again, it teaches you how to do that.
Right, and I was thinking about your example of Netflix, in the program, and what they did was, was really amazing. But if Netflix had tried it too soon, when we still had dial-up, and we didn't have fast enough internet speed,
wouldn't work.
It wouldn't work.
No, and
so the timing part of that was really intriguing to me.
Yeah, and for those that are listening to this, one of the things that we teach in the Anticipatory Organization is the 3 digital accelerators, processing power, storage, and bandwidth, and how for over 30 years they've been on a completely predictable trajectory. And it lets you see with the time frames when things will happen. So why didn't we have TED Talks in the year 2000? Well, those 3 things weren't ready. Why didn't Apple put out the iPhone 2 years earlier? It wasn't because they couldn't make things small. It's because processing power, bandwidth, and storage weren't ready. But we could tell exactly when they would be ready. So you have a tool to know not only what can be done, but then when will it be done, thanks to the learning system.
Right. So one of the thoughts that we have in our firm is if we put all our employees through this program, and we kind of change our mindset in terms of how to serve serve customers. So when our employees are talking to customers, they can be asking them these kinds of questions. What kinds of problems do you have? And try to help them, maybe understand how to solve them. Then, I think that's real value added.
Absolutely. One of the things that is in the learning system is when whatever problem you have, that's not it. There's another one. You're working on the wrong one.
Yeah, I was really intrigued by that. When you first said that, I said, "Oh, well, what the heck does that mean?" No?
And then it started really coming together.
It did, yeah.
Because they'll always give you what they think the problem is, but the real gold mine is getting into what the real problem is, rather than what they thought it was.
Right.
And and there's a method to learn how to get in there and dig.
Yeah, if I go back to my property manager example for a second, if I were to ask a property manager, what's your real problem? I don't think they would tell me that I can't get the vendors to basically help monitor their particular areas, kind of like the Walmart model. I don't think they would say that.
No. There's a golden rule in the learning system that says you want to give people the ability to do what they currently can't do, but would really want to do if they only knew they could do it.
Yeah.
So if you just ask customers, what would you want? They're going to under-answer, because we're in a world of transformational change.
Yeah.
So you go ahead and ask them, because they expect you to ask them,
Right,
what would you
right.
like? But know that they under-answered, and then the better ones. And asking better questions always gives you better answers.
It's really been great. We have rolled it out not only to the 5 partners, but also to 3 other folks in our firm that are a manager, and one is actually a senior, an audit senior, who's sort of an up-and-coming member of our staff. And they're all having the kind of reaction that I just described to you, and that is, this is a good way to help our clients. The system itself, I thought, was it's very easy to understand. It's really kind of thought-provoking. And the materials, the videos are very easy to listen to. They're
Short.
yeah, but
3 minutes.
They're kind of insightful. They really get you thinking. I told you earlier out in the hall, I was up half the night, not up half the night, but I'm dreaming about this and that, because one of the things that worries me in the accounting business is our tax service. Someday somebody's going to come up with a system that basically is going to put the CPA tax preparer, out of business. I mean, it's happening already,
Yeah.
at least at the low retail kind of end at the moment.
So where's the new value?
So where's the new value? That's
Yes,
right.
yes.
So that kind of got me thinking.
Exactly. And the fact that there's the short video, 3 minutes or so, single concept video, and then it's followed up by having you apply what you learned in the video to what you do.
Right.
Talk about that just a
I
minute.
thought that was really good because, and I thought it was hard work too. A couple times I got to those questions and I had to spend some time and really think about, and I wasn't sure if I hit it on the mark.
But it was making you think and making you apply.
It was deep learning.
Yeah, it was deep learning rather than superficial learning, which so many systems are. They tend to be kind of boring. They tend to be dry. They're too long, and it doesn't make you really think.
Yeah. So one of the concerns I've got is if we kind of roll this out to our entire staff, how well is that going to come across to them? Are they going to have the same level of understanding that our leadership group does?
And when I've seen that with larger organizations, they react very much like you. They are thinking, they get engaged, they enjoy it, and because there's a personal aspect to it too. It's not just something that you can do for business, but you can apply it to your daily life as well.
Yeah, it's like a lot of other things though. If you don't make a commitment to do it and kind of ingrain it throughout the organization, you're not really going to follow through and accomplish.
Yeah, I think if the top doesn't get it, it usually doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And if the people at the top are really getting great value out of it and see the value, they can get others to go that route.
Right, and that's part of the reason we're going to integrate it with our strategic planning, because our staff already knows that process. And so if we get them thinking about the problems we already have through this prism, if you will,
Exactly.
this learning prism, then I think it'll really have some meaning for them.
Well, it has changed how companies like the IBMs and Deloitte's and Raytheons, the big companies, how they change. How they plan. Just working with GE a few months ago on their 2025 project, it was their top 20 people, changed how they do their planning. So I think you'll find that it'll fit with your strategic planning really well.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. Well, I think we've always been kind of future-oriented firm. We've always been thinking sort of ahead in terms of what what the competition was doing or what the marketplace was doing, and how should we kind of react to that. But we never really had a system for looking at it quite like this, where especially with the identification of the trends, and what's a hard trend and what's a soft trend. And so what I hope will happen is that we'll be able to ingrain it throughout the entire organization, and it'll kind of change the way we think and the way we plan, and also the way we serve clients.